Hey, Prime members! Are you tired of ads interfering with your favorite podcasts? Good news! With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free podcasts. That's amazon.com/ad-free podcasts to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
This is Travel in 10.
And now, your host, David Brody.
So, welcome to this edition of Travel in 10. For this season, we're going to be doing something different, joined by a co-host for the first time. I've got Tim Johnson with me. Tim is probably one of North America's top travel writers. He's written for everybody from CNN to the Globe and Mail, the New Yorker, Bloomberg, and afar. In addition to that, he's traveled to more than 145 countries around the world, every state in the U.S., every province in Canada, and every state in Australia as well, as I understand, Tim.
That's correct. Yeah. It's been busy. A lot of time on airplanes, a lot of jet lag, but not so much lately, obviously, but it's been good. It's been busy. Lots of travel, lots of writing on airplanes. Yeah.
So you have been a full-time travel writer for the past 10 years now, writing for people all around the world. As we get into the summer of 2020, this is going to be a very different time to be a travel writer.
It is. I mean, I'm accustomed to being, just 2020 from January to March, I was in Antarctica, I was in Argentina, I was in Antigua, all A places, which is interesting, but Switzerland, I was out in BC, I was in Jamaica. So I'd been just kind of ping-ponging around the world. And then there was this moment, I'd flown back from Vancouver, and there was this moment where I landed at the airport and I was looking at my phone and saw all these stories about COVID and the NBA was shutting down and Tom Hanks had it. Remember those early days? And I thought this is really going to change my life. And it has. So I've been cooling my heels for about more than 2.5 months now. And, in a life where I'm accustomed to new horizons every day, if there haven't been too many new horizons, but you know what? It's been nice. It's been nice to slow down. It's been nice to appreciate the small things. And it's been good to catch up with some folks that have been, I haven't seen so much, friends and family and things like that. So it is a strange time, but it's been good in its own way.
For sure. Well, I know I have had a lot of trips that have come off the books. There were probably 2 trips to San Francisco I was supposed to do over the last few weeks. A trip to Whistler for about a week of skiing that we had to cancel. Everybody in the same boat. And I mean, for a lot of people now, they can't travel outside of their hometown, their state, even in terms of some of the travel restrictions that continue to be out there this summer. And I guess that's what we thought we would focus a little bit on for today's episode, was talking a little bit about how you can still have some travel experiences without leaving home as we continue to sort of manage through all the outcomes of COVID-19 and how that's impacted travel, how you can still have some travel experiences without leaving home.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm excited to chat about this. And I've had a few of these good armchair experiences as well. So, yeah.
So to start off with, I know you were telling me a little bit before we started today that you had a great safari experience that is now gone online. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So there's few places in the world, few continents in the world that I enjoy more than Africa. I've been to 15 countries in Africa. I've probably done, I don't want to exaggerate, maybe 25 different safari lodges in Africa. And so that's, once things open up again, once there's an opportunity to travel again, that'll be one of the first places I go to. And so last year I was in South Africa with a company called And Beyond, which is one of the top high-end safari operators in Africa. And I was in South Africa. I was at a place called Ngala Lodge, which is on a private game reserve right next to Kruger National Park. Kruger National Park is Big Five, one of the ultimate safari destinations. And so I was there and we just had just an exceptional safari experience. And so I was very, very pleased when I saw that And Beyond is offering virtual safaris now. And so they take a camera out with the safari guides on the Jeep, on the safari vehicle, and they live stream it. So it starts basically at dawn and you drive out and you encounter whatever that safari guide encounters. So if he is surrounded by, or she is surrounded by elephants, you're surrounded by elephants. If he sees lions, you see lions. If he sees hyenas, he sees, painted dogs, whatever. And it's basically the full length of a what they call a game drive. So it's 2.5 hours of live stream. So it gives you enough time that you're really immersed. And for me, I almost, my imagination took me back. It felt for a moment that I was back there smelling that early morning, the smells of the savannah, and really there with that safari guide. And then they have a program that goes alongside that. One of the most enjoyable parts of safari is getting to know the safari guide. So these guys and women are very knowledgeable. They really, really know a lot about wildlife, and they know a lot about the region. They know a lot about everything. I've never had a question that they couldn't answer. And so they're running a program right now and beyond, where for a fee you can have a private session on Zoom. We're all getting really, really familiar with Zoom these days. And you can have a private chat with a safari guide. And so that can be for up to, I think it's 5 people, 6 people, something like that. And so that can be them answering questions, general questions about safari. If you're planning something down the road, that can be gathering the family around a computer. And I know my nephew especially is very, very much into wildlife and knows everything about all these deadly, creatures in the world. And so that can be the family asking questions about wildlife, or it can just be a chit chat about what does life look like right now in Gala and Kruger National Park. And they have it for a few of their other lodges as well. So I thought that was kind of an interesting, because you get the experience of being out on a game drive, which I've never seen that before, where you can actually get out, pre-pandemic, where you could actually get out and be alongside a guide for the game drive, but then also interact with that same guide afterward.
If people want to book the trip, where would they go to book their own virtual safari?
So that would be on &Beyond's website, andbeyond.com. And then they have, it's called Wild Watch. So Wild Watch Live is the where you can go alongside for the game drive, and then there are links on that website also for clicking through and booking. And there's even time slots you can, if you know enough to know which safari guide is your favorite, which I'm not sure you can get that much from the live stream, but if you had a friend who went on safari in South Africa and said this person or that person was fantastic, you can actually choose your guide, you can choose your time slot, and it has all that information there for booking that interactive experience as well.
That sounds awesome. Okay, well, going from Africa over to the other side of the world, to Italy, one of our first virtual travel experiences of the summer and of COVID-19 was to Italy. Somewhere we've spent some time the last 2 summers. We found a cooking school. It's been run by a woman there who set up a cooking school together with her 85-year-old grandmother, teaching traditional Italian recipes. And she's been running it for travelers in their sort of small town just outside of Rome for the past couple of years. Obviously, Italy was one of the places sort of hardest hit by the pandemic early on, and they had to shut down their operations, but decided to transition to an online course. You can find them at Nonna Live, Nonna live.com. The courses run about an hour to an hour and a half. They send you all the ingredients that you need to get for the cooking course about 2 weeks ahead of time. And it's, I think there's a lot of online cooking courses now, but what's maybe unique about this one is it is very much like one-on-one. You're booking it. It's the 85-year-old grandmother on one end of the line and yourself and your family on the other end of the line. We had an awesome experience where, we dialed them up on a Saturday afternoon. The grandmother herself wasn't available the day that we were doing it because of travel restrictions in Italy, but her granddaughter, Chiara, came on and did her and her daughter did the course with us. And it was awesome. It was like one-on-one. They taught us how to do cannelloni, the first course that we did. We did another one a few weeks later where it was ravioli with butter sage, teaching you how to make them all from scratch. And also, you have a glass of wine with them while you're cooking. You hear all about their village. It really feels like an authentic Italian travel experience, and a great way to get out and see a bit of the world without leaving your living room.
Oh, that's fantastic. How did it taste at your end product that you guys made at home?
It was impressive. Yeah. It turned out well. It had, our kids and us all making the pasta. So a few little hands waiting in there, but they did very good. It was impressive.
Who doesn't love Italian food, right? I mean, I did a trip once to southern Italy, to Puglia, and we were staying on farms, eating the food that they were actually farming on the farm and drinking the wine that they were from the grapes that they had on the farm. And I think this is not an exaggeration. I think I came back 20 pounds heavier from that trip. Like, I think if you'd weighed me going in and then weighed me, coming out, I think it would have been literally about 20 pounds. So, I mean, that sounds fantastic. I mean, what's better than Italian food? What's better than learning how to make it yourself? So that sounds amazing.
So from Africa to Italy, great way to start our virtual travel experience. We're almost done with our 10 minutes here, Tim. So why don't we come back for part 2? I know we've got, both of us, a whole bunch of other virtual travel experiences from around the world we want to talk about, and share a few of those in our next episode.
Sounds perfect. Looking forward to it.
Thanks for listening. Download more of our travel shows from around the world at www.travelin10.com.
This has been a presentation of Travel in 10.